Celebrate with Teddy covers as he hits the 50,000 plateau on Twitter. Right now, you can get a 7-day all-access pass for only $50 using coupon code TC50 when checking out on Teddy's 7-day pass. That's 7 days for less than a 3-day package and $49 savings from regular 7-day all-access price, coming to just $7.14 per day. To redeem this special, go to Teddy's homepage at either WagerTalk or Sports Memo and use coupon code TC50 when checking out for his 7-day all-access pass.
Hey guys, welcome in. A very happy Friday to you here. Big weekend coming up here. Well, and I mean well over 140 games in college basketball alone tomorrow on Saturday. And I think they're playing some sort of football game on Sunday. But we do have 13 games on the card here tonight at College Hoops. And we managed to narrow it down here a little bit. We're going to break a few of these games down for you. And we're going to do it, of course, with three of the most profitable college basketball handicappers we have at WagerTalk.com, including Tony Mejia up top, Brian Leonard, all he does is win, and Adam Trigger, man. Nobody knows college hoops better than these three guys. So, Tony Mejia, talk to me, my man. I know a lot of gold sheet work here this week. It's a monster weekend, to say the least. Did you narrow anything down for us tonight that we need to know?
I did. It's a small card, so that helps. So putting this to bed here in the next few hours and then looking ahead to the huge Saturday card and then obviously NBA as well, post-trade deadline, getting all those rosters set, seeing if I like anything tonight. Wish I would have stayed out of the Big Ten yesterday because the Colonial was my happy place, as you know, with the free play, and I had the Hofstra as a straight-up winner. But, yeah, it didn't go well at Maryland for Iowa or at Michigan for Purdue. Yeah, looking to bounce back and get a solid weekend going started tonight.
All right, good stuff, man. Lot going on here this weekend, Brian. Good Lord, a whole lot going on for you this week too, man. What's going on? What do you got locked and loaded for us here?
Yeah, yesterday was a college basketball day. 2-0 in hockey, 6-5 in college basketball. Today is a hockey day. One playing hockey up on a 17-5 run in the NHL. If you're waiting on college basketball for me, tomorrow's the day to do it. I've already circled 13 games that I think we have an advantage on. So the problem is getting all those up and ready for my clients. I'll get them up as soon as possible so you get a chance to get the best lines possible. But right now it's a hockey day, and we're expecting fully to continue our winning ways in both sports.
Yeah, crazy, and I mean absolutely crazy day there tomorrow here, Trig, in college. You actually have to start tonight looking at what's ahead tomorrow, but there are 13 games on, including your boys at Siena here, so I'm wondering, what do you got locked and loaded, if anything, over at WagerTalk.com?
Well, Joe, nothing in basketball yet. It's a smaller card. Definitely already started to look at tomorrow. Had a 6-game winning streak going into last night. Lost with Washington State. It was my only play. So I haven't bet anything in college hoop yet tonight. Doesn't mean I won't add something from now until these games start. I'll talk about the Siena game at the end of the show because that's probably my strongest sort of lean or opinion yet on today's card. And the only thing up on my page right now is the Super Bowl play. It's $9. I just posted full analysis for it this morning, so check that out. And yeah, we might have a college hoop play before the day's over.
All right. Listen, it's a small card, but there are some pretty intriguing matchups here tonight. And we're going to start with one that pretty big here. A couple of top 25 teams, number 24 and number 25. UConn and Xavier going toe-to-toe here at pretty much almost a pick-em price there. 140.5 is an opening total here. It's Big East time. Tony Mejia, and both of these teams, Interesting seasons, especially over the last month for both. What do you think of Xavier at home here tonight, taking on UConn?
Yeah, I took a lot of time on this one today because this is one of my gold sheet write-ups, and I decided that I want to stay far away. I will say that I lean UConn, so that's my lean for everybody, but I will absolutely not be playing with that one. And I'm curious to see, because in 9 days' time, these teams meet again at UConn. And, both teams should be fine to make the NCAA tournament. They're both currently in the top 25 for NCAA net rankings and should be able to add a few more quad one victories before now and between now and Selection Sunday. But these are two teams that are kind of headed in different directions. UConn had a 2-game losing streak, but they snapped it by beating Marquette 80-72. And again, they've won 6 of 8, now in sole possession of third place in the Big East behind Providence and Villanova. So they're on more sure footing than Xavier, which is kind of slumped of late. They lose tonight. It'd be their first 3-game losing streak since bowing out of the Big East tournament last March, and that has effectively ended their season because they did not accept an NIT bid. I'm not really sure if one was offered or not, but they did have a winning record. So this is a team that's much better this year than they were last year, much more consistent. And I think this is a game that comes down to the wire, and the number isn't giving you much. In fact, I think it's a little trappish to have Xavier, with their history at the Cintas Center, only a 1.5-point favorite over UConn. It's going to come down to Jack Nunge and whether he's able to shoot the ball as well as he has of late. He's on a 13 of 23 run from beyond the arc, but Xavier's only 2-3 in those games. So that, to me, is my deciding factor and why I'm leaning UConn, because the Huskies can beat you up inside the paint with their rebounding, shot blockers, and Sanogo and Robert Whaley. So I like UConn, but just a smidge and not enough to trust as a client play.
So it's interesting. I mean, they're good at home. Brian Leonard, 11-3 here this year. They had a bit of a problem controlling the boards against Seton Hall, which pretty much ended up doing them in here. So he mentioned it. Sanogo's he's no joke here. He's gonna have his tonight. So what do you think? Do you like Xavier, who needs to win at home here tonight?
I don't like to bet on teams that need to win. I think both these teams will make the tournament. They're both quality teams. In fact, if you look at Xavier on the season, if you look at the shot quality numbers, they've only had 2 games all season in which after the game they had less than a 50% chance of winning based on the shots they were taking. 2 very good teams. I've been out shopping for some long shots here in Vegas on who can make the tournament and win the tournament. And UConn is 100-1 in one of our local casinos. And I thought that was a little bit high. Some of the sharper books out there had it at a little lower. I'm seeing a 59, a 55. So 100-1 may be worth a shot here on Connecticut for the tournament, to win the tournament. Obviously, it's a long shot, but that's why they're up there, and you can always hedge back. I think Tony hit it on the nail here that Connecticut's the side I'd like to play here, but I was kind of looking to get a little bit more. It all comes down, and you had mentioned it, Joe, about the rebounding and that kind of thing. The problems that Xavier has. Xavier finishing at the rim is 236th on the season, whereas you take a look at this UConn defense, they're 8th. They only allowed 0.89 points per possession shot quality at the rim. That's excellent. And most teams don't go to the rim on them because of their big guys and their ability to defend the rim. I think this game comes down to Xavier having to hit outside shots. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it. So to be honest with you, I don't have any plays for clients today on the smaller card. But if I had to choose this one, I'd take Connecticut. I just wish it was a little bit more points.
All right, leaning towards UConn here. Trig, we talked about it during last week and that Seton Hall game in Xavier. The record was obnoxious. They don't play. I mean, they're so slow out of the gate, Xavier, and then they make this crazy comeback in the second half. That's not going to work here against UConn, so they've got to figure out a way to start fast. Do you trust Xavier at home to get it done here tonight?
Xavier kind of feels like the play here, but I'm not particularly high on this Xavier team, so I won't be playing it. I actually like UConn better from a side perspective. But it does feel like a tough spot for them on the road. Like Brian said, Xavier doesn't finish at the rim at a very high percentage, and UConn's interior defense is outstanding. Excellent shot blocking, excellent rebounding. Also, Xavier is pretty good themselves defending the paint as well. So if I had to get involved here, the way I look at it, I don't see where all the scoring is coming from either team. I'd probably look to the under just because, UConn really, I think, I agree with them being a little bit, the price being a little bit high for them to win it all. Like this team's really, really can play defense. And, they've got some really impressive players in the post, Sonogo being sort of the key guy that they want to play through. Now, in this particular matchup, Xavier's got the size up front where they could make that very difficult for UConn. I don't know that UConn's just going to be able to, run their offense through Sonogo here like they want to. So I don't know how to pick a side in this game, Joe. This is a complete toss-up for me. If I had to bet it, I would say this total feels a little high, and this one probably plays under. I think it's like 138.5, 139. That seems like a high number. I'll go under for the sake of argument here.
All right, looking at the under in this one tonight, guys. UConn taking home Xavier. Xavier being home tonight, pretty much a pick 'em situation. Now we'll head out west here for our featured game number 2. How about it? Fresno State taking on Colorado State. Colorado State home opens up as a 6-point favorite with a total of 129 in this one. And Bri, you've talked a lot about this conference and these two teams on the show over the last month. So tell me what you think about this number. Some people saying, "Ooh, that's a little rich for Colorado State," but is it in your opinion?
Yeah, it's interesting. Every time I see Fresno State on my schedule when I'm on the one day of the week, I'm thinking somebody that's making up these games, they must be a Fresno State alumni or something because I'm on those games all the time. And here we go again. Obviously, offense against defense here. You got a Fresno State team who's very good defensively. Shot quality rankings has them 52nd overall nationally. Especially good in transition, 6th nationally, only allowing 0.91 points per possession in that regard. And you got a Colorado State team, just the opposite. This is an offensive juggernaut team. They rank 61st overall shot quality numbers, 22nd offensively. The way you beat Colorado State is you attack them in transition. They're 340th in the country in transition, giving up 1.09 points per possession. But this Fresno State team doesn't run. They average only 0.96 points per possession offense, which is 284th. And the frequency is even lower at 342nd. So they don't run, which is how you beat Colorado State. That gives the advantage to Colorado State on a really strong home court here. My numbers say that Fresno has some value, but when you break it down and do the handicapping, I think Colorado State's the right side. It's similar to Mr. Trigger. This is tough for me to make a selection on this one. So I'll just go with an opinion right now. I think it'll be a situation where Fresno's not going to be able to run, not wanting to be able to run, so they won't be able to take advantage of that. So normally teams will run more on Colorado State, and that's where he gets the points. Give me a little look on the under in this game.
All right, looking a little bit at the under in it. What do you think here, Trig, with this Colorado State team at home? Fresno State hungry. Can they upend them, get the outright win, maybe?
Well, Joe, I agree with Brian. My numbers scream Fresno State here. I think the number, definitely, looks toward being a good value play on Fresno State. The problem is Colorado State is legit, and the odds makers know this, and they're just basically going to force you to lay a little bit of a premium to back the Rams. This has been going on for most of the season with this Colorado State team, in my opinion. I still think that Colorado State, you could make a case that they're still the best team in the Mountain West, even though Wyoming's 9-1, Boise's 9-1, and Colorado is back there at 8-3, 18-3 overall. I mean, this Colorado State team is still the real deal. David Roddy's the real deal. So it's tough to bet against them, especially at home where they're 11-1. And what Brian said, it definitely holds some weight. Fresno State they aren't going to run. But that's kind of what makes Fresno State sort of appealing, in my opinion, is they've been able to like play their style, slow the game down, and do it like particularly well this year. Fresno State, I never expected them to be 16-7 at this point in the season. They've far exceeded my expectations, and they've done it by controlling the pace, playing slow. They take good shots. Their shot selection is solid. They hit their free throws. They don't turn the ball over. So, if it's Brian said he kind of like the under. If it is going to be kind of a slower paced game, it makes those points pretty appealing. You're getting 6. That's always appealing in a game that could be lower scoring. So I lean Fresno State here. I just don't know if I want to take a shot at Colorado State and Fort Collins. They're a team I'm a little more comfortable going against when they're on the road, but this team can be a beast at home. So I'll lean Fresno State. I don't know that it makes my card.
All right. Well, it's certainly going to be interesting here. Colorado State seems to be a different team at home here. So what do you think, Tony Mejia? You like them to get the win, get the cover?
I will save this as my best bet, but let's talk total because my best bet is the side on that game. Total in games where Colorado State has a total under 140, the under is 3-0. And I say this because Fresno State is obviously not going to run. Brian's spot on that. And their best bet is to dig in and try to withstand the Rams in the half court and then play through their 7-footer Orlando Robinson, who's obviously very good. He's borderline first-round pick, versatile. He can take you out onto the perimeter, and they try to get him the ball at all times, which leads to double teams, which leads to the shot clock being eaten up. And Fresno is 4-1 to the under over their last 5 games. Typically, their games end up, you get to 60, you win. So, that's maybe where we get to here. For the sake of this segment, I will take the under, but I got a best bet on the game at the end.
All right, there you go, guys. One other game left on the board here tonight we're going to cover, and it's going to be in the A-10 as we take a look at the Bonnies taking on the Billikens of St. Louis. This number hovering around 5 now, got bet down pretty quickly there from the opening of 7, 141.5 here, Trig, for the Bonnies, who are just putrid here this year against the number, not making anybody any money, unless, of course, you backed Fordham last game. So tell me what you think here of the Bonnies heading to St. Louis and getting 5 points tonight.
Joe, this St. Bonaventure team is such a massive disappointment. Listen, I'm on the other side of the state here. They're actually quite a ways away. They're like 4 hours away from where I am in New York. But there was a lot of buzz about St. Bonaventure, just in general, coming into the season. 23rd in the country. They actually opened up with Siena. I remember they were 22nd or 23rd in the country. They blew out Siena. And they just haven't lived up to their expectation. And it continues to sort of like create value on them every time they play. Like I look at this game and I say, wow, like that looks like a pretty enticing number to take St. Bonaventure at, like +6, +5.5, wherever it is. But it's just like every time they're in this spot, they don't perform. And it's getting hard to continue to go back to the well with them. In this case, though, St. Louis seems like they're starting to sort of peak from a value standpoint. So I wouldn't lay this number with St. Louis just because St. Bonaventure, they have the potential to be good and to even win this game. Like on paper, they should be so much better than they are. So, the other thing that I've noticed when it comes to St. Bonaventure games is teams just make shots against them. I can't figure out if that's because they're bad defensively or they've had some really poor luck in the with just teams just nailing 3 after 3. So, St. Louis doesn't shoot the 3 particularly well. And I'm wondering if that, maybe is a way St. Bonaventure could potentially, like that might be a path to victory for them if St. Louis can't like just eviscerate them from beyond the arc like some of these other teams have of late. So I would lean St. Bonaventure to the points here, but full disclosure, I've kind of leaned that way most of the season, and it hasn't really worked out when it comes to this St. Bonaventure team. So I'll wait to see what the other two have to say on this one. St. Bonnie's plus the points just seems like a value play. but I don't know if that's going to make my card.
Yeah, I mean, it got bet quick there on that opening number, Tony here, but 3-12 against the number in their last 15 plus 0-3 on the road here recently. What do you do here? Can you back the Bonnies in this spot?
Well, if you don't have plans after this shows tonight, we got to do a second show, but you can meet me in St. Louis. We might be able to come off Mark Schmidt's bench, considering he only plays his 5 starters and really doesn't have much depth. And that's, I think, the key to beating St. Bonaventure and to the Bonnies hanging around here is I don't think they'll be able to slow the game down because St. Louis knows the drill. If you're going to play 5 guys 35-plus minutes, which Mark Schmidt is going to do, I'm going to make you run if I'm Travis Ford, and he certainly has the horses to get that done. So it's really up to Kyle Lofton, a very good point guard, probably the A-10's player of the year in some minds at the beginning of the season, to pick it up. I mean, he's been solid, but he had, I think, a COVID issue or an injury issue right around where the entire team had COVID issues. Around December, they had a huge layoff, and they just haven't been able to pick it up. Like I said, the depth issues are alarming, and that's why they're right outside the top 100 in the net rankings from what I saw this morning, and no hope of an at-large bid. So this is essentially the beginning of a stretch run where they're going to try to pick things up and be at where the preseason expectations were for them for the A-10 tournament, since their only way in is an automatic bid. So St. Louis is much younger, but they take care of business at the three-point line. They got some horses. St. Bonaventure getting 5.5 points even at this stage, because I know it was more at the beginning of the day, still too much. So I would lean Bonnies there. But I think I'm going to go with a total play and go with the over, knowing that St. Louis is going to push tempo, and the only way the Bonnies hang around is to follow suit.
All right, good stuff there. What do you think here, Bri? It's been a disappointment, but maybe the expectations were a little high for the Bonnies. But aren't we past the point of feeling sorry for yourself at this point in the season?
You definitely are. It's a situation. It reminds me sort of like the Boston Bruins in the NHL, a team that is so much better than what they've shown. All the advanced stats, they should be better. Well, the regular season's just about over. I mean, after a while, you've got to realize that maybe last year was the outlier for St. Bonaventure as opposed to this year. Great points by both guys. Adam was talking about the way St. Louis plays, and I have to agree. And you're buying high if you're looking to play St. Louis right now. As Adam pointed out, they've been playing very well. What is it, 7 straight wins, something in that regard. 6 straight, I believe. So you're buying high if you want St. Louis. But as Tony pointed out, this is a St. Bonaventure team that plays a short bench, and you're playing a team that wants to run. This is going to be my best bet out of the plate games that we've talked about today. I prefer the St. Louis. I didn't have much of an opinion when it was 7. Now it's down to 5. I think there's value on St. Louis. You got a team that's 13-3 at home on the season. When you look at St. Louis, they're so good in transition. 47th ranked offensively in shot quality, points per possession. Defensively, 17th. They're very good. They defend in transition, and they're very good offensively. You look at St. Bonaventure in transition. This has been a bad team defensively. Now, offensively, they're 36th. They can still score on anybody when they get out and run. But defensively, 280th in shot quality, defensive points per possession, 1.05. You take a look at some of the other things that they do. They're just not very good in that regard. The catch-and-shoot threes from St. Louis, 48th in the nation. And you've got a team in St. Bonaventure just has not been anything special defensively in that regards to stop that. So normally your home team and normally your favorites are the teams that dictate the pace. I think St. Louis dictates the pace here. And I think St. Louis runs away and wins this game by at least what the original line was, which was 7. Now that it's down to 5, I think there's a little bit of value here on St. Louis.
All right, good stuff. Well, going with the Billigans here tonight, taking on the Bonnies, still trying to find themselves here in February. Go figure. All right, guys, so we've only got, 13 games or so on the card here tonight. So pickings are slim, but let's see if these guys have a game that they like a little bit more than the rest. So come on, Tony Mejia, kick us off. Break it down for us on who you like in this game for a best bet.
Well, I think we're going to get a sellout at Moby Arena in Fort Collins tonight, which should help matters in Colorado State taking down Fresno State and wearing them down. It's going to be a low possession game. As I said, I like the under in the when we talked about this game individually. But for my best bet, I think that Colorado State will pull away and cover this number. Fresno, if Orlando Robinson isn't hitting shots or making the correct pass out of double teams, they're going to lose this game by double digits. This is a must-win for the Rams, who are 2 games behind Wyoming and Boise State in the race for the Mountain West regular season title, and it's their only home game in a 5-game span. So you got to take care of business in games like this. And Fresno State deserves respect because they've got a decent team. They got a couple good players, and obviously Robinson is a pro. But they really haven't gotten it done. They just lost at home to Wyoming in a winnable game. Their best wins are against middle-of-the-road teams like UNLV. They beat Utah State. I think that's their best win. So I think Colorado State outclasses them here, and I will lay the points and say that they impress everybody tonight, which in their losses, they've been impressive. They lost at Wyoming in a heartbreaker that they should have won when David Roddy missed a late free throw. I think with that win, they'd be in a little better shape as far as their at-large resume look is concerned. But I think they're going to be a tournament team, and I think they blow out the Bulldogs tonight.
Houston's trash. We all know that. All right, Brian, let's hear what maybe Robin's yelling at me right now. Talk to me here, Brian Letter. Which way are you looking at here tonight?
I'm surprised your microphone didn't go out there. Funny how that works out sometimes.
Unsolicited violence.
I'll go back to the game I just talked about. I don't want to keep this any longer. If you want my full explanation and you're watching this later on, just go back to my third selection there on St. Louis, a team that I think is going to be able to dictate the pace here. And, just a quick gambling situation here. A lot of the wise guys bet overnight, which brought that line from 7 to 5. They found value on Bonaventure +7. Well, if you've noticed, it stopped at 5. It hasn't gone down any further. That means the wise guys have gotten their fill at 7. At 5, they don't think there's value there. That gives us an opportunity of laying the lesser number, and that's what we like here. We like St. Louis at home. I think they dictate the pace, and they run all over this St. Bonaventure team that just doesn't have enough athletes. They don't play enough players. And as the game goes on, it wouldn't surprise me to see a close game get extended, and St. Louis ends up winning this game pretty easily.
All right. Love it. There we go. Going with the Billikens. And I can't wait to hear it. Come on. Lay it down. Siena plus the points. I know it's coming here. Talk to us, Trig.
All right, Joe. Yeah, you have me figured out. That's certainly my lean. But listen, this show is about information. So I'm just going to try to give some local info on why I think Siena could have some value tonight. Okay. So first of all, I'll just explain, a lot of people don't understand that Siena doesn't play their games on campus, which is kind of strange for a mid-major. They play downtown Albany in a 15,000-seat arena, which they configure for 8,000 for the Siena game. What that means is it's kind of a pain as a student to go to some of the games. And that's why they don't it's more of an alumni turnout in a lot of scenarios. Now, tonight, they moved the game to 9 o'clock because ESPNU wants it on at 9 p.m., which means the kids that go out in Albany on Friday night will actually show up to the game here because they can go to the 9 o'clock game and then go to the bars right after. Okay, that's one thing. Two, the local buzz here about Rick Pitino coming to coach a game in Albany, you would think, it's like they've never seen a quality coach before. I think a lot of the alum want to just go see that old dude walk up and down the sideline for Iona. So there's a huge buzz in the area for this game. And Siena-Iona has kind of become a pretty big rivalry, at least prior to Monmouth joining the MAC. Siena-Iona was always the game in the MAC, which kind of has been displaced in recent years by Iona-Monmouth because simply Iona and Monmouth have both been better in recent years. So Siena, just from a matchup standpoint, they've slowed the pace of their games down considerably. Andrew Plattick, North Carolina transfer, went down earlier in the year. He was their only real ball handler, and Siena kind of would fumble around in transition, turn the ball over a lot. They're not doing that anymore as much because they play much slower. And the slow pace actually is probably going to help them against an Iona team that just wants to go nuts. Like they want to just like run and turn it into a complete track meet, play a game in the 80s or 90s. That's Iona's preferred style. Siena is not really going to let them do that. And so they're going to lower the number of possessions in the game. And then finally, Siena's just been better in general of late. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. And if you go back to the first meeting between these two teams, the sharp bettors hit this at plus 17.5, took it all the way down to 15.5 where it closed. The game landed 17, and that was probably a little harsh. That game was probably closer than a 17-point game. Iona scored a few buckets at the end there to cover late. Now you're getting 9 points. This is a big deal for Siena. This is probably the first game of the year that the kids are really excited that they're actually going to show up to. I would say there's probably going to be 6,000-7,000 people at the TU Center tonight. My parents will be there in my seats because I'm going to be on my way to Florida. But I think plus 9, too many. I think Siena's got a chance here, and I think plus 9 is probably the best bet that I see on the board tonight.
All right, Siena plus 9. That's the way he's looking here tonight, guys, against Rick Pitino and Iona. And, of course, our friends at the Gold Sheet, they've got a best bet in mind as well here tonight. And they are going to be looking at Northern Kentucky taking down Wisconsin Green Bay here tonight. And this is a great write-up, guys. If you check it out, all about the Norse here, you can read it on our Twitter page as we post our Gold Sheet plays of the day. We do it after each and every show here. So great write-up and, of course, great handicapping tools found at thegoldsheet.com. All right, tonight, 2 quick ones. I had mentioned Xavier starting off slow. It's now 8 of their last 9 games. They have gone into the second half trailing. They just don't start well. And now you've got a really tall team and a tough team in UConn. I don't see anything changing there. So I'm going to take not only Xavier or UConn rather in the first half. I'm also going to go, and you're going to love this, Trig. Give me the under in Ryder St. Peter's at 130 right now. They played this game already, and it landed at 109. Nothing about this game tells me that all of a sudden offensive explosion. Give me the under in St. Peter's and Ryder. And to recap one more time here, guys, it's across the board here. A good night for such a short card with some solid plays. Tony Mejia, Colorado State, he's laying the 6. They're going to get it done. He says Brian Leonard likes the Billikens. And Brian, as you talked, I watched the line move back to 5.5. So way to go, Brian. 5 now, 5.5 in some spots. Trig is all over Siena taking on Iona. Take the points. Far too many. I'm going to go the first half with UConn against Xavier and the under in Ryder St. Peter's. And our friend from the Gold Sheet, Northern Kentucky, lay the 7.5. They're going to get it done against Wisconsin Green Bay, guys. Over 140 games tomorrow in college hoops, guys. Now would be the time for you to head over to WagerTalk.com. Of course, with the big game on Sunday, one of those 3-day all-access passes. Yes, could be the most profitable investment you make all year long here, guys. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Hop on board. Tony Mejia, Brian Leonard, and, of course, Adam Trigger there, guys. Get one of those 3-day, 7-day all-access passes and get every one of their best bets all weekend long. You cannot beat it. So head over to Wager Talk, visit them, and, of course, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. We'll be back again Monday to break it all down. Did they make the Monday after the Super Bowl a holiday yet, Brian Leonard? Is that official yet?
It is for anybody under the age of 50, I think.
You bet your ass it is. All right, so there you go, guys. Come back and join us on Monday. Best of luck with your plays tonight. Make it a profitable weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Good luck.
Lock in all sports, all plays, All 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12, 2023 from your favorite Wager Talk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately. So the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.